welcome to Wool and Thyme, or should I say welcome back. It's been a long time since I filmed a video, but we're trying to get back into things. I miss doing this kind of stuff. It's fun to be creative in this way. It's different from a lot of the other stuff that I'm doing. So yeah, if you're new here, I've done podcasting for a while for crafty exploits. I've also made gardening videos. I plan to bring all of that back, but with a caveat this time, and that is I'm expecting. We're expecting our first child. And only child. I only want one. And yeah, it's definitely changing a lot around here. But I thought it would be fun to bring back the podcast just so that I can kind of show the stuff that I'm making. Of course, there'll be a lot more tiny things and the progress of trying to like clean up my office. So yeah, there'll be more crafting podcasts. I'm gonna try to do like a once a month kind of update. I want to do gardening because I'm going to be doing kind of like a little bit of a reduced garden this year because I don't want to get in too deep, but I still want to do something. So I've got some interesting things coming up there. And what else? I don't know, just lovely things. We like to try everything around here. I mostly knit and crochet. I also spin. I also sew. I quilt. I do everything. I like to try everything. So yeah. The idea for these podcasts is that I'm gonna do like a once a month update. We'll do finished objects, we'll do works in progress, and I'm also going to have a section where we talk about destashing because I am doing a little bit of the nesting thing and a little bit of the I need to clean things up thing. And I'm trying to reduce my stash in my office, just mostly kind of picking out things that I know I don't have the energy to do or don't want to do anymore. And we'll kind of get into that later when we get into the destash section, but you can look forward to that. Just quick update. So I've been posting reels and shorts as I come up with ideas. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's a great place to see just like general stuff I've been working on. You can also see the pregnancy announcement. I'm due in August, so I've got a little bit of time, but not as much time as I would like. And I already feel like I'm behind, but it's fine. We'll get there. Yeah, so let's get started. Let's start with finished objects. So, first finished object is from our pregnancy announcement. I did these cute little socks. So the yarn is Pride as a Protest. It is an exclusive color for Snake & Skein, which is my favorite yarn shop. And I had used it for my Christmas socks. I make Christmas socks for my wife and I every year. But I had leftovers and I made little baby socks for our pregnancy announcement. Yeah, I don't know. I want to make a bunch more of these. I've made some of these for my friends who had babies and they loved them a lot. They're very stretchy. They last a while and they keep tootsies warm. So, but yeah, a first of many tiny pairs of socks. Maybe I'll do like a tiny sock month. That feels like it could be a funny little challenge to see how many I can make in a month. I have lots of scrap yarn, so wouldn't be a problem. Next up, quite a bit bigger project. This is my scrap cushion. This one is longer than the scrap cushions I've made before. If you look on my YouTube channel, there is a previous video where I talked about making the first one that I made, which was a round cushion, and I used a lot of scraps in that one. I also have a square cushion that I made, so my wife and I each have our own, like, little individual one. This one's longer. It's meant for the library. We have a room in our house that we call the library. They build it as a mud room when we bought our house because it's like this weird long room on the back of the house. The house had been extended in both directions because there had been like enclosed porches that they had then enclosed as part of renovations to the house. So it's just like a weird long storage room, and we were like, well, that's perfect, we can put all our bookshelves in there. So we turned it into this little library, and there's like a little like cuddly corner to, you know, curl up and read books in. So this is going in there with the intention that, you know, once we have a little one who will want to read, we can all curl up in the corner and read together. So I had this like charm pack that had like bees, and I paired it with these patches that I got from Fennec Design, which is my favorite local designer. There's one here. There's one here too that has teeth on it. Yeah, she's my favorite local designer. Her and her husband run a print shop, and they print these like beautiful like nature-centered prints, and I own so many of their t-shirts. Um, yeah, so I have so many of these patches because they do these cool like mystery box things periodically, and I get these patches and I want to integrate them into all of my sewing. I have an apron that I made that I put like a patch on the pocket too. And then the back fabric is from the free craft supply swap. So I found out that they're only doing it in the fall this year, which makes me a little bit bummed because I'm gonna have a tiny little baby at the time, but maybe that'll be an excursion. But yeah, free craft supply swap. Look how cool that fabric is. It's so fun. Yeah, so basically the concept with these, I have a little zipper on the bottom so I can stuff them with all my sewing scraps so that I'm not sending a bunch of stuff to the dump. I like to try to be low waste in my crafting. I save as much as possible and reuse as much as possible and pass on what I can't and turn scraps into cushions. All right, those are the only two FOs that I actually have like finished enough to be able to show. Like I said, it's been a slow month. I've been tired and pregnant, so. And I am, hold on, let me show you. I'm like actually visibly pregnant now. Like, I'm a chunkier lady, but like, I was sitting in the OB's office today, like leaned back like this, and I looked down over my boobs, I could see my little bump, and I'm like, oh, like I look pregnant now. All right, let's move into works in progress. Now, I have more than this for works in progress, let's be real. But this is just what I've mainly been working on and trying to push to finish. If I showed you all my works in progress, you'd be like, girl, what are you doing with your life? I did also frog a sweater. I don't think I ever posted that video because I was really sad. I had a sweater that I had partially knit and then decided I hated. And I just stopped because, like, what's the point, you know? Anyway, so this is the metallurgy coif. It's meant to look like a little chainmail cloth. I went for like blackish and grayish together because I'm, you know, so goth. So I'm holding this acrylic yarn that I got from the Art of Recycle in Ephrata, and then this gray yarn which I also got from the Art of Recycle in Ephrata. I love creative reuse stores so much. Like that, honestly, life goal is to be able to open a store like that because this is just what I do, you know? I love this stuff. I love being able to like pass on craft supplies and get discounts. We love a thrifty crafter, you know? Anyway, this is a test knit for Witching Hour Knits, Dora, who I absolutely adore. She plays the hurdy-gurdy at our Ren Fair. And then fun story, little side note. So I've seen her at the Ren Fair before, but I've also been following her on Instagram for a really long time, and it was only like a couple years ago. Like, I had seen her at the Ren Fair before and not made the connection that this was the same person, and then suddenly I was like, oh my god, it's the same person. So yeah, we've talked where I'm like, hey, I'm really dumb, but like, I liked seeing you playing the hurdy-gurdy at the Ren Fair. Anyway, I'm testing her coif. I don't know when it's coming out. I'll definitely be sharing a post on Instagram when it comes out. Like, you'll see, you'll know. But yeah, I'm almost done with this. I'm actually close enough that I might be able to even finish it tonight. Also, look how cute this is. If you play Katamari Damacy, my dad went to one of those gachapon places and got me this little charm, and I've been using it as a stitch marker, and it's so cute. Very enthusiastic about things these days. I cried on the way home from my OB appointment because I realized that my wife is going to actually be able to come to the neck scan with me because she hasn't been able to yet because teacher. I also cried about poetry today. The hormones are hormoning is what I'm saying. Anyway, I love Katamari Damacy. It's one of my favorite games, so this is one of my most used stitch markers right now. But yeah, so that's my like main knitting thing as I'm trying to finish this. I've also got a scrap blanket. I'm not going to bring it over here because it's huge, but I will probably show that next time maybe. I just didn't want to carry it in here. But I'm working on a crochet blanket with all of my sock yarn scraps. And I decided to do, what's it called? Linen stitch? Is that what the crochet one's called? Linen stitch? Or moss stitch, linen stitch. So it's like chain and a single crochet. Yeah, that's the one. The problem is I tried to do a granny stitch blanket and I didn't like how big the holes were. So this is like the proper density for what a blanket is, and I'm doing a bedspread size. So bedspread size linen stitch with fingering weight yarn held single. I have hiccups now. Yeah. It's gonna take me an eternity to make this, but it's gonna be really cool when it's done. So, you know, I'm so quirky. Also, pouch. This is my Snake and Skein pouch, Fiber Magic. It's covered in dog hair, as is everything in my life right now. So this is my cross stitch that I'm working on right now. If you're familiar with Dimension 20, Fantasy High, I'll just give you a minute. Yeah, so it's the Laws or Threats quote from Fantasy High, the Cubbies, we love the Cubbies. I have a little display inside our front door of like gay stuff, and I want to add more this is what we're about in this house kind of art. So I've got like, you know, rainbow flag that our friend gave us, and like a wood rainbow flag thing, and a couple cross stitches like homo, sweet homo, that kind of thing. So this is gonna go up there so that you walk into our house and you know what we're about. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this. I finished all the text. I made the inspired decision to use metallic thread. That's right, I used metallic thread. Now, it's not that I didn't know about metallic thread. I've used metallic thread before. I just decided, fuck it. I'm gonna use metallic thread for all the words. It looks cool. It sucked to do. Yeah. The last time I used metallic thread, I swore I was never going to again. And then I did. But yeah, all I have left is the bottom part. There's gonna be 2 Molotovs on either side. There's a D20 in the middle, dragons, I believe. And then you repeat this like top motif again on the bottom. So although I'm like worried I'm running out of space here, it feels like there's not going to be enough space, but maybe I'm just, I don't know. I was pushing it a little bit with the size that I cut this. I probably could have cut it a little bit bigger. Whatever, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I just need to give myself a lot of space on the edge. Yeah, so I'm working on that. And then D-stash. So my thing with D-stash, I'm not doing it all at once because I do want to be very mindful of what I'm reducing and not just like throwing stuff out, you know what I mean? So I picked a couple things this month that I'm putting on Maker's Resale. I'm also getting rid of my electric eel wheel nano, which is my first spinning wheel that I purchased. And there's actually a video on my channel of when I upgraded it to the new motor and stuff. But yeah, I just decided I didn't really need it anymore. I've been thinking of getting rid of it for like months now, if not at least a year. And then my friend mentioned wanting a spinning wheel, and I'm like, hey, I'll sell it to you, friend. So yeah, they're gonna buy it from me. But yeah, these 2 other things are going up on Maker's Resale hopefully soon. I submitted everything like yesterday or the day before, so if it's not this weekend, then it'll go up next weekend. So the first thing is this sweater, and I know what you're thinking, Sam, you knit a whole sweater, why don't you just unravel it if you don't like it? I don't want to do that. I love this yarn. I love this sweater. It is the, now I'm not going to remember what it's called, Lodestar. It's a Lodestar sweater. It's from one of the pom-poms. I knit this last year. I finished it in the spring. All winter I didn't wear it. The bottom of the sleeves are just like a teeny bit too big for me. I did knit them to like 3/4 sleeves, but it's like, it's this really beautiful color. I love it a lot. There's a little dog hair on it. I love it a lot. I love this pattern on the top, the lace part. I honestly will knit this again. I just don't want to unravel this sweater, and I would rather pass it on to someone else. I literally wore it once to take a picture and then never wore it again. I think it has a teeny bit too much ease in the body for me. I mean, right now it probably wouldn't because I'm pregnant, but it just, when I wore it, I didn't feel comfortable. I think if I like size down, I like a snugger sweater, even sweaters that are supposed to have positive ease. I just don't feel comfy in them, you know? I don't like to swim in my sweaters. So this guy I'm putting up on Maker's Resale, and I'll share it in my Instagram stories when it does finally go up, but yeah. If you're interested, it'll be there. And the second thing is this fabric and this pattern. This is the chalk and notch pattern for the shade dress. Very pretty. I've wanted to make this, don't get me wrong, but the more that I looked at it, I'm like, this is something that I think is going to happen a lot when I'm going through my stash. I'm going to look at things and be like, I love this look of a dress. I don't want to make it. I certainly could. I have the skills to make something of this difficulty. I don't have the patience, and I don't think I would enjoy making it. If you look at, part of this is I do follow someone who has made this dress and like talked about struggles that they had with it. One of the things is, if you look on the back at like the pattern stuff, there's like these ruffle things, I don't know, tucks on the sleeves. Apparently they're a pain to make. I don't want to do that. And there's just other stuff where I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't think I would actually thoroughly enjoy making this. And if I'm not going to enjoy making it, then what's the point? I don't want to do that to myself. So I'm just going to part with it, and someone else will enjoy making this dress. So shade dress pattern, and I am pairing it with the fabric that I purchased to make it. It's this really pretty, it's rayon, floral print, crinkly. It has like a slight crinkle. It's not very crinkly. Challis. But it's got like these pretty like lavender flowers in it, and it's black, and it's just, I love it, but I just don't want to make this dress, and I don't want to figure out something else to do with this fabric. I would rather try to recoup some money, you know? So that's what I mean by trying to be reasonable about stuff in my office. Like, I've got stuff like that where it's like very ambitious patterns where I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to. Or it's like stuff where maybe like I got the stuff to try a craft, and I feel like I'm gonna try it once and be like, I'm actually good. So that kind of stuff, I'm gonna try the craft, and then if I decide I'm good, I'm just gonna get rid of it. For example, I've got stuff for tatting. I've got some wood carving stuff. I've got leatherworking stuff. Like, all of this is fit in this room, and I could make space instead. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm making some space. So some stuff I might put up on Maker's Resale. Some of it, if it's just like random balls of yarn and stuff, I'm probably going to save that for the art supply swap. Or I'm also having a yard sale in the spring, so some stuff might go out to the yard sale. I have my old sewing machine. I think I'm ready to get rid of it, so I'll probably sell that at my yard sale, you know. Just trying to give myself a little space. I'm overwhelmed by the amount of stuff I have in my stash right now, and as I'm looking at things, I have been able to be very honest that I don't want it. So I think I should just stick with that. So yeah, that's all I have for this week. These are nice quick ones. But yeah, look out soon. It's getting warmer outside, so that means it's time to start doing like springtime stuff, which is exciting. So I'd really like to do some videos outside. There'll be more crafting videos. I think I would like to do a mending video because I have a whole like bin full of mending. I would like to get back into live streaming. I've got a lot of games that I think it would be fun to live stream if you're interested in that. But yeah, so if you don't follow me already, like I said, Woolen Thyme on Instagram, that's a great place to keep up with me on a daily basis. Obviously subscribe to me here. In the comments, let me know what your favorite baby pattern is, because I'm definitely trying to collect some patterns for like baby items, whether it's something you've made for a friend, something you've made for yourself, something you have in your favorites list on Ravelry and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make this one day. Let me know, because I'm trying to compile some like cool baby patterns for stuff that I can make for the baby. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sitting here and hanging out with me. I'm so happy to be back, and I will see you next time. Bye.